Jnana Vijnana Nashanam. It is the destroyer of knowledge and wisdom. Jnana means knowledge which we acquire through satsang, from the books, from some good people. What we acquire is called knowledge. And when that knowledge becomes our own through experience and through contemplation, then it is called wisdom, Vijnana. Jnana and Vijnana. For example, you listen to this pravachan and all, what you understand is called Jnana. But when you are convinced about it, and you also is accompanied by experience about it, then it is called Vijnana, wisdom. Then it is your own. Otherwise it is borrowed. Borrowed knowledge, it can go away. It is temporary. It's like trial. Some actually people give that selling and all, they give for trial. 2 weeks trial. If you don't like it, we will take it back. Trial run. So knowledge which we learn from books and from listening, it occupies our mind temporarily. It doesn't last long. They become our own when we think, and it becomes our own. We contemplate, we write notes and contemplate on it, think about it, understand the whole thing. Then it becomes our own. Once it becomes own, then it is my knowledge. Then it doesn't go. Unless it is overpowered by karma. When it is overpowered by karma, it is there, deep within that wisdom is there, but it is covered by kamana. It is not destroyed totally, it is covered. But if that kama krodha becomes too strong, then at times this knowledge also gets destroyed. So jnana vijnana nashanam. They are the destroyers of knowledge and wisdom. Therefore, by controlling your senses, you control or overcome this kama. Throw them out. But they will not go totally. They will take residence in your mind. Still you will have deep love and deep hatred. Still there will be justification for all this. So those also should be overcome. So what is the technique? So now Bhagavan tells us some subtler technique. After controlling at the senses, what we should do. Indriyani paranyahuhu Indriyebhya param manaha Manasastu para buddhihi Yo buddhe paratastu saha. See, when we have to attack, we need to be somewhere to attack. So what are the places in which one can reside ourselves and attack? Actually, one has to go into this enemy territory only and attack. Actually, rather than inviting the enemy in our territory, one goes to that territory, it's better strategy. Ramchandraji went all the way to Sri Lanka to attack Ravan. Because whatever nuksan hota hai, us territory mein ho jata hai. So if we want to control our senses, then where should we take residence? In something subtler than the senses. And subtler than the senses is our mind. So here Bhagavan tells the subtlety of all these various faculties which we have. He says, Indriyani paranyahuhu. Indriyas, the senses, are superior to the sense objects. Superior means they are inner, nearer to the self. They are more subtle and they are in command. They have authority or they have more power over the grosser. So the senses are subtler than the objects. For example, this watch is there. Our eyes are subtler than the watch. If I close my eyes, the watch cannot do anything. It is helpless. It cannot enter my system. My body is also made up of these 5 sense objects only, but the sense organs are subtler than even my body. They are more vyapak, more pervasive, they are inner, and they are more in command. But subtler than the senses are our mind. Senses they all merge into mind only. Each of our 5 sense organs, they merge into the mind inside. Outwardly they are 5, but inside they all become one with the mind. Eyes, ears, nose, they are all become one with the mind. Mind understands the language of all the 5 senses. Mind understands sight, mind understands smell, mind understands taste. But the tongue cannot understand sight. The sight cannot understand sound. The senses themselves are totally distinct, but when they go inside, they become one. So, senses are nothing but outer expression of our mind. They are just outer expression of our mind. Therefore, any stimuli which reaches our senses, there is a reaction in the mind. Without the help of the mind, one cannot experience anything at the level of the senses. When the mind is in deep sleep, even if you open the eye of that sleeping person, he will not see you. Some people, with their eyes open, they go to sleep. I don't know how. You must have seen. Aankh khuli hai, but they are asleep. And you think they are awake. But they are asleep. So senses can function only if my mind is awake. So mind is subtler. Mind is a reaction. All the sense to the sense stimuli, the reaction happens in the mind. Reaction happens in the form of emotions. Anger, happiness, unhappiness. All these emotions happens in the mind. Also, a lot of then thoughts also happen in the mind. Positive, negative thoughts keep coming in the mind by the stimuli which comes from the senses. But mind has got no power to decide and all. It's just a reaction happens and all those things, and emotions are there. But subtler than the mind is our intellect, which has got, it is also a faculty within us, which has got the power to analyze and understand the mind and understand the senses. It is different from the mind because it is the one which can observe the mind also and can understand the mind. And how the mind is behaving, it can look at it. It can understand, this stimuli came and the mind reacted in this way. It can understand the whole process. So it is different faculty which is there within us which can look at the mind and the senses also. So it is more inner, it is more in control, and it is more subtle, more pervasive. Therefore, it is considered higher than the mind. And then Bhagavan says, higher than this intellect is this Atma. Yo buddhehe paratastu saha Atma. This Atma, this our own self, is even higher than the intellect. So if we want to overcome this kamana, first we have to overcome at the level of the senses by not coming under the sway of likes and dislikes. Then we have to overcome it at the level of the mind by not coming again under the sway of our love and hate. And we can overcome it at the level of our intellect by negating all justification, by destroying all justification which we have done for this Kam and Krodha, by powerful wisdom, by proper contemplation and thinking, we have to negate all this justification which we have given to our own Kam and Krodha. And then one can even transcend that and come to recognize one's own self. See, when we go one step subtler, the lower one gets automatically controlled. So if we want to control the kamna at the level of the senses, we have to come and occupy the mind, create positive emotions in the mind. Then to overcome the mind, we have to rise or go at a subtler level of our intellect. Have good wisdom and understanding which negates all false justification, and then reside in that intellect. But ultimately, we have to identify with our own self. And then only when we identify with our own self and understand that what I am seeking is my own self. I am seeking peace, I am seeking happiness, I am seeking complete contentment and satisfaction. That is the very nature of my own self. So identifying with my own self, I can overcome the kamna completely. So first, Bhagavan gave us the subtlety of these three. The senses are as though the outermost layer, the inner layer is the mind, innermost is the intellect, and still at the core is the self. So overcome the senses by staying in the mind level and attacking it, then at the intellect, and then get established in the self and be free of this kamna once and for all. So here in these verses, Bhagavan has also taught us a technique of meditation. Meditation is going inner and finally residing in our own self. So he says in the next verse, last verse, Evam buddhe param buddhva Sanstabhyatmanamatmana Jahi Shatrum Mahabaho Kamarupam Durasadam. Evam, in this way, Bhagavan says, going one step subtler and subtler within yourself. With the mind under your control, the senses also will come under your control. First, don't come under the sway of likes and dislikes. Then try to capture the enemy in the mind by controlling your mind. And then capture the enemy in the intellect by destroying all justification which one may have done for our angers, our hatred and all, our likes and dislikes. That is the justification which many people do by faulty logic. And this justification then is not, if it is not destroyed, it remains permanently in our system. And that is how yesterday also I was saying that some anger which comes down from Khandan also, it remains being justified. Even nations fight with each other by justified anger of some past generation and all. And then it remains for a long time to come. But if it is that justification is destroyed and negated by higher understanding, see, every understanding is there which might try to justify, but if we go to a subtler and higher understanding, this faulty understanding will get negated and we will be able to overcome this kamna at the level of intellect also. But after that, one should go transcend this intellect also. So Bhagavan says, Evam buddhehe param buddhva. Having understood, buddhva means first intellectually appreciated and understood the self, which is subtler than the intellect. Bhagavan says that sanstabhya atmanam atmana. With your purified mind and your very calm, quiet, peaceful intellect, you get identify with that self. Let your mind